The Burning of the Dream by Charles Bukowski from The Pleasures of the Damned. The Burning of the Dream. The old L.A. Public Library burned down, that library downtown, and with it went a large part of my youth. I sat on one of those stone benches there with my friend Baldy when he asked, "You gonna join the Abraham Lincoln Brigade?" "Sure," I told him. But realizing that I wasn't an intellectual or a political idealist, I backed off on that one later. I was a reader, then going from room to room, literature, philosophy, religion, even medicine and geology. Early on, I decided to be a writer. I thought it might be the easy way out, and the big boy novelist didn't look too tough for me. I had more trouble with Hegel and Kant. The thing that bothered me about everybody is that they took so long to finally say something lively and or interesting. I thought I had it over everybody then. I was to discover two things. A, most publishers thought that anything boring had something to do with things profound. B, that it would take decades of living and writing before I would be able to put down a sentence that was anywhere near what I wanted it to be. Meanwhile, while other young men chased the ladies, I chased the old books. I was a bibliophile, albeit a disenchanted one, and this and the world shaped me. I lived in a plywood hut behind a rooming house for $3.50 a week, feeling like a Chatterton stuffed inside of some Thomas Wolfe. My greatest problem was stamps, envelopes, paper, and wine, with the world on the edge of World War II. I hadn't yet been confused by the female. I was a virgin, and I wrote from 3 to 5 short stories a week, and they all came back from the New Yorker, Harper's, the Atlantic Monthly. I had read where Ford Madox Ford used to paper his bathroom with his rejection slips, but I didn't have a bathroom, so I stuck them into a drawer, and when it got so stuffed with them I could barely open it, I took all the rejects out and threw them away along with the stories. Still, the old L.A. Public Library remained my home, and the home of many other bums. We discreetly used the restrooms, and the only ones of us to be evicted were those who fell asleep at the library tables. Nobody snores like a bum, unless it's somebody you're married to. Well, I wasn't quite a bum. I had a library card, and I checked books in and out, large stacks of them, always taking the limit allowed. Aldous Huxley, D.H. Lawrence, E.E. Cummings, Conrad Aiken, Fyodor, Dos Passos, Turgenev, Gorky, H.D., Friedrich Nietzsche, Art Schopenhauer, Steinbeck, Hemingway, and so forth. I always expected the librarian to say, "You have good taste, young man." But the old, fried and wasted bitch didn't even know who she was, let alone me. But those shelves held tremendous grace. They allowed me to discover the early Chinese poets like Tu Fu and Li Po, who could say more in one line than most could say in 30 or 100. Sherwood Anderson must have read those too. I carried the cantos in and out, and Ezra helped me strengthen my arms, if not my brain. That wondrous place, the L.A. Public Library, it was a home for a person who had a home of hell. Brooks too broad for leaping, far from the madding crowd. Point, counterpoint, the heart is a lonely hunter. James Thurber, John Fante, Rabelais, de Maupassant. Some didn't work for me. Shakespeare, G.B. Shaw, Tolstoy, Robert Frost, F. Scott Fitzgerald. Upton Sinclair worked better for me than Sinclair Lewis, and I considered Gogol and Dreiser complete fools. But such judgments come more from a man's forced manner of living than from his reason. The old L.A. Public most probably kept me from becoming a suicide, a bank robber, a wife-beater, a butcher, or a motorcycle policemen, and even though some of these might be fine, it is thanks to my luck and my way that this library was there when I was young and looking to hold on to something when there seemed very little about. And when I opened the newspaper and read of the fire which destroyed the library and most of its contents, I said to my wife, I used to spend my time there. The Prussian officer, the daring young man on the flying trapeze, to have and have not. You can't go home again.